The world has conditioned us to fear solitude, treating it as something to avoid at all costs. But here's the reality. Being alone isn't a sign of failure. It's the birthplace of transformation. Solitude is where greatness is forged, far from the distractions and expectations of others. Nikola Tesla, one of the most brilliant minds in history, said it best. Be alone. That is the secret of invention. Be alone. That is when ideas are born. His breakthroughs didn't come from blending in with the crowd, but from withdrawing into his own thoughts, allowing his genius to thrive. There is a misconception that solitude equates to loneliness, but it's in the stillness of being alone where the seeds of innovation are planted. In those moments, you realize that the greatest company you can keep is with yourself, because you are the architect of your future. When you're alone, you strip away the noise of the world and are left with the raw truth of who you are. In a society that constantly pulls you in 1,000 directions, solitude is a chance to find your center. You're no longer performing for others or living up to their expectations. This is where you meet your authentic self, the version of you that isn't shaped by the opinions of others. Steve Jobs once reflected on the importance of following your own intuition, saying, "Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice." In solitude, that voice becomes louder, guiding you toward the life you were meant to live. And let's be honest, the world is loud, filled with people trying to project their fears and limitations onto you. Solitude gives you the power to reject all of that and start writing your own story without compromise. Solitude also fuels creativity and focus like nothing else can. It eliminates the endless distractions of the modern world and gives your mind the clarity it craves. J.K. Rowling famously wrote the Harry Potter series as a struggling single mother, working alone in cafes to build a story that would captivate millions. That kind of focus is only possible when you embrace being alone, when you shut out the noise and dedicate yourself to your vision. If you've ever wondered why your biggest dreams seem so far out of reach, perhaps it's because you haven't given yourself the space to pursue them fully. Solitude isn't just a space for creative thinking. It's the birthplace of extraordinary breakthroughs. In the quiet, you're not just thinking. You're connecting deeply with ideas and solutions that the chaos of daily life often suppresses. But solitude isn't just about productivity. It's also about building resilience. When you're alone, you learn to rely on yourself. It's not always easy, and it's not always comfortable, but it's necessary. In the absence of others, you become your own motivator, your own supporter. Bruce Lee, a man who epitomized mental and physical discipline, understood this power. He said, "I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you're not in this world to live up to mine." That's the strength of someone who knows how to stand alone. Solitude is where you learn to thrive on your own terms, to become unshakable in the face of challenges. Think of it as a boot camp for your mind. Every moment spent alone is a step toward mastering the art of self-reliance. Greatness is built in private, long before it's celebrated in public. Think of Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. His dominance wasn't crafted in the arenas, but in the hours of solitary practice, pushing himself harder than anyone else ever could. Solitude is preparation. It's where you sharpen your skills, define your vision, and prepare to emerge stronger than ever. Arthur Schopenhauer captured this perfectly when he said, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone." The hours spent in solitude are where champions are made, not because they're isolated, but because they're focused. They're crafting their future one disciplined moment at a time. Of course, being alone can sometimes feel isolating, even lonely. But loneliness is energy. It's a resource you can channel. Instead of letting it drain you, use it to fuel your growth. Nikola Tesla, Steve Jobs, and countless other pioneers didn't let loneliness break them. They turned it into the force that drove their success. In solitude, you can take all that emotional energy and redirect it toward achieving something extraordinary. It's in those moments, where the world feels distant, that you discover the strength to push through barriers and silence doubts. You begin to see loneliness not as an enemy, but as a teacher, showing you the depths of your own capabilities. Now, here's the challenge. Spend time with yourself, not distracted by your phone or surrounded by shallow conversations, but truly alone. Sit in the silence, dream boldly, plan obsessively, then act with relentless focus. Rumi, the great poet, once said, "Don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth." Your journey begins in solitude. That's where you break free from the expectations of the world and start creating your own destiny. Solitude is your forge. The question is, are you ready to step into the fire and transform? Being alone isn't a limitation. It's an opportunity. And when you embrace it fully, you won't just change your life. You'll transform it entirely. Solitude is the beginning of greatness, a road not taken by many because it requires courage, discipline, and trust in yourself. But if you dare to walk it, the rewards are beyond imagination. By the way, if you want to keep learning and growing, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time, take care.